Most valuable asset? Welcome to Seeking God with Leah Klein, Health and Wholeness Coach. And we're back to the same verse again, a different part of it in Ephesians 6:14. And having put on the breastplate of righteousness. So we've been progressing through and starting through the armor of God in Ephesians 6. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I encourage you to go back. Basically about the beginning of February, I think, was when we started going through this whole passage. But my question for you is, are you protecting your most valuable asset? We have a lot of different assets, and of course our body, our physical body, is an asset. It's the temple of the Holy Spirit. And one particular part of our body I would consider the most valuable part because God considers it the most valuable part, and that's our heart. And this is why it is so important. We cannot live without our hearts. Both in the literal physical sense, we can't, but we also can't live without the heart of who we are. And God, as part of his promise with the coming of the new covenant, he said he would take out our heart of stone and give us a heart of flesh that was open to him. And he doesn't want anything else to have access to our hearts. He wants our hearts to be his, and he wants to protect our hearts. Think of this breastplate like an ancient bulletproof vest. That's what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to deflect anything coming to your vital organs, especially your heart. And it's the breastplate of righteousness. Righteousness, a definition of it, is described as the quality of being morally correct and justifiable, aligning with God's standards and laws. There's two aspects of this righteousness. There's our righteousness, which isn't sufficient on its own, and there's God's righteousness, or Christ's righteousness, that is imputed to us when we are believers. And we need to claim Christ's righteousness. We continue to work towards being more aligned with God's standards and his laws. That is the process of sanctification. We are in a progression. We are moving, hopefully, towards that because God is the one that's doing it, not us. We are progressively moving and becoming more righteous. But we also have Christ's righteousness, and that is what we rely on, not our own. Christ's righteousness, his right standing, his perfectness with God is our bulletproof vest. It is our protection from all of the evil forces that assail us. So I want to encourage you, ask God to give you Christ's righteousness so that you will in turn become more like Christ and more aligned with him. And if you're having trouble hearing God or connecting with Him, let me show you why that could be happening and how to go deeper. I have a free ebook called Seeking God, where I talk about different ways that you can get closer to God and how to do a personal retreat, one-on-one time with Him in His creation. And of course, this will give you information on how to do it. But if you've already gotten that information and you actually haven't put it on your calendar and made it happen, I encourage you to do something to make it happen. And if you need help doing that, feel free to reach out to me. But to get that free ebook, it's healthturnaroundcoaching.com/seeking-God, and the link is in the email that you clicked through to get to this, or if you are on social media, it's usually in the show notes or somewhere above or below the video. So I wanted to wrap up our time with holiness is what I long for, because it's also talking about righteousness. And holiness and righteousness are very interconnected, actually. If you know the song, feel free to sing along with me. Holiness, holiness is what I long for. Holiness is what I need. Holiness, holiness is what you want from me. Holiness, holiness is what I long for. Holiness is what I need. Holiness, holiness is what you want from me. Righteousness, righteousness is what I long for. Righteousness is what I need. Righteousness, righteousness is what you want from me. So take my heart and mold it. Take my mind, transform it. Take my will, conform it to yours, O Lord. To yours, O Lord. And I will see you next week with another verse. See you then.